Hey guys, so we have an interesting weekend this weekend, likely to be characterized by quite a bit of just busyness and socializing and interacting, connecting and relating to others, things going back and forth, but also some pretty big realignments might be underway this weekend. We have the moon coming into a conjunction with Uranus and the North Node on Friday. This is some of those divine highly fated realignments going on. And then on Saturday, we have the moon in Taurus going to be making an aspect, a square and a trine to both Saturn and Pluto moving backwards right now. And, if you guys have been following my work this week, you know also that both of these planets actually just moved a couple days ago, the day after our summer solstice. And I feel like this is also talking about some big internalized restructuring and transformation that is also underway this weekend, which makes sense in the context of the realignments that are also going on Friday and throughout the course of the weekend. And Sunday is a super busy day, you guys. We have a lot of Gemini influence, a lot of Gemini energy that is playing out this weekend, specifically leading into Sunday. So there could be, again, a lot going back and forth, a lot of busy stuff going on, a lot of things to do and things to say and people to talk to and encounters, all that type of stuff. Very, very highlighted this weekend, you guys. So let us jump into the report and break these days down day by day and see how this might be affecting us this weekend. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Friday, June 24th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological energetic outlook overview of the weekend. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the astrology that we have going on for Friday, for Saturday, and for Sunday, the 26th, just so that we can get a nice day-by-day breakdown of everything that is unfolding on an energetic level for us this weekend. So let's start with Friday, you guys. Yeah, Friday is the day where we may have some shakeups. We may have some sort of unexpected things happening. There may be something maybe coming at us out of the blue, but this is an energy that is trying to put things right for us, that is trying to realign things for us. And we know that because right now we have Uranus in proximity to the North Node of the moon, both in the sign of Taurus. The sign of Taurus, this is a sign it's a sign of the builder, and it's also about growth and growing things that come from the soil generally, represented and ruled by the sign of Taurus, but also the creative process that is represented through things coming from the soil, this process of growth. We currently have the North Node at 22 Taurus and Uranus at 18 Taurus. And this aspect is actually building, and we're going to be starting to talk about this a lot more going forward because this is another major aspect that is characterizing the nature of this year overall. And when these two come together, this is going to be a collective realignment in terms of getting us back on course with that proper path of growth. That is what the North Node in Taurus and Uranus coming in there is sort of representing to me. And again, this is a major feature of this year. It's going to be coming up within these next couple of months. So we're going to start talking about this a lot more. But today we're getting sort of a little taste of it because we have the moon in the sign of Taurus as well, going to be coming into a conjunction with both of these planets. And the moon acts sort of like a trigger for energetic activations. The moon rules our feelings and our emotions and our internal environment and our intuition, what's going on inside of us and stuff like that. And so when the moon is coming into the alignment with these two planets today, there could be some things either going on within us on an emotional level that are causing us to seek freedom or seek an ability to change things up in such a way that we feel is more in alignment with who we're growing into now, this North Node energy. And it also could be more divinely aligned circumstances that are coming into our experience that are awakening us to something or to liberating us or some type of way or causing us to want to make some changes. So it could kind of go back and forth, but these two things, some type of an awakening or a realignment going on that is for the purpose of aligning us with our proper path to help us maximize our potential and maximize our growth going forward. And this could very likely come in the form of information, communication, encounters, connecting with others in some type of a way this weekend because of this really significant Gemini influence that we have as well. We're talking about the sign of Taurus. We're talking about the North Node, Uranus, and the Moon all being together in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus is, of course, ruled by Venus, who recently moved into Gemini. If you guys missed my Venus enters Gemini video yesterday, you may want to check that out because we've definitely got some different vibes going on over the course of the next couple weeks as a result of Venus being in the sign of Gemini. But with all of this Taurus activity today via the Moon, Uranus in the North Node, Venus in the sign of Gemini, there could definitely be some news, some information, some interactions with others, some conversations that are doing this for us or awakening us, opening our eyes to something, or that are sort of urging us, pushing us, nudging us in a direction that feels more authentic and right to us, and that is causing us to want to sort of make these changes or break ourselves free from something that has been holding us back or restricting us from being able to move in this new, more authentic direction that is very like value-based, resource-based. And in the context like of how this could unfold on an individual level, I feel like it has to do with us sort of recognizing, realizing the value, the talent, the gifts, the worth that we hold within us, and being able to creatively figure out how to utilize those things to create some of this Taurus stuff, this stability, this security, this abundance, this material success, or just comfort in one way or another in our physical 3D reality as we are going through this process, transitioning ages, and really detaching from the power and control structures and dynamics of the past. Remember, if the Moon is coming into a conjunction with the North Node, that means the Moon is also forming in opposition to the South Node in Scorpio right now. These are these toxic attachments that we may have acquired out of any lack of power, essentially, that we felt within ourselves that actually caused us to surrender our power to these power and control structures. Pluto, ruler of Scorpio, currently being in the sign of Capricorn right now. These things are breaking down, and we're really being urged right now to learn about as well. Learning is a major component of the energy that we have unfolding this weekend as well, with Venus in the sign of Gemini. It's like we want to learn, we want the information, we want to know how we can, be more self-reliant, be more self-sustaining, more self-sufficient, more resourceful generally. So this Friday, to start our weekend, there could definitely just be some, and again, Uranus, expect the unexpected with the Moon. There could definitely just be some big time changes going on in the way that we feel about things right now as well. I mean, we're talking about Venus. This is what we want, ruling the sign of Taurus, where these aspects are happening in Gemini. Venus in Gemini is very versatile, very changeable. This is a mutable sign as well, and it's all about like options, choices, decisions, alternatives. And Venus there, like, she really wants to try new things. She really wants to learn. She really wants to discover. And so that could be sort of what is playing into these realignments that are going on right now as well. Like, we could be hearing something, we could be learning something, we could be talking about something, we could be discovering something, or there could just generally, we could be realizing or opening our mind in some way and realizing that there are more options, more opportunities, more potentials, more possibilities than perhaps we had considered in the past. So very Gemini information, communication, conversations, interactions, encounters that may be really shaking us up today or causing us to want to make some big, radical, spontaneous changes in our lives as well. News, information, conversations, connections, meeting, encounters. I said that. And definitely energy also for like the right partnerships coming together at this point in time. Like, this is some of that energy that can really bring in some of these like fated connections, like divinely timed and aligned relationships and interactions. It's like there is more of this like synchronistic component as well to perhaps some of these encounters or this information or what we are learning or being exposed to in this energy that is helping us to, again, like reawaken or awaken to something or shift our perspective or have a desire to make some changes that are more conducive to our growth and the activation of our true potential or of our destiny as we go forward. But yeah, like, this is definitely, we could have some just more divinely aligned and significant relationships and connections coming in this energy. And another thing, like, there's a love for talk that we have going on right now. Like, we're just probably going to really feel like talking, and the themes that we're talking about as well are probably going to be like more related, like what's on our mind, especially with Venus also in the sign of Gemini, with Mercury, money, resources, projects, potential. Also, like, I feel like we are more geared at this point in time to sort of be like learning about how we can be more resourceful or how we can be more self-sustaining or self-reliant or independent. I feel like there's probably like a lot of people in this energy over this next couple weeks that are going to be just more geared to learning about like how to make food from scratch or how to grow food or how to garden or like how to just create like how to make money based on the things that we know and the information that we can provide as well. I mean, that's another facet of the age of Aquarius, you guys. Information is the new currency. And with these Taurus themes all about like resources and value and potential as well, and creativity and growth and finances, partnerships, money, projects, like all of that type of stuff, we may really be geared to learning about how we can in some ways become more, like I said, resourceful or self-sufficient in this energy. That might sort of be where our attention or our mind is right now, or again, how to make like more money because of this Taurus vibe as well. Taurus ruling money, Taurus ruling love specifically, or even like how to heal our ability to relate to other people and stuff like that. Like that could be another like relationship dynamics and, you know, what we may need to shift or change about ourselves in order to have healthier relationships. Like that could be another aspect of what is unfolding in this energy. But things along those lines are likely to be on our mind and coming out of our mouth and into our ears as we go out throughout this weekend. Opportunities also very likely to be presenting themselves in this energy as well. We need to be very, very open to all the possibilities and all the opportunities, even if it's something that is like so far-fetched from something that we would, you know, normally engage in. Like this is a period of time right now where things are really dramatically and radically changing for us to sort of get us back on track. And maybe we've gotten so far off track that the thing that naturally, you know, we would have gravitated to seems foreign to us at this point in time. And we need to just be very flexible and very open and very like open-minded in terms of being able to take opportunities right now. And also with Mars and Jupiter, both in the sign of Aries, this is also good risk-taking energy as well. It is not great commitment energy. This is not energy, especially with Saturn retrograde, where we really want to like, you know, sign our name on the line. Like this is not committal energy, but this is discovery energy. This is trying new things energy. This is sort of sampling the whole array of options and choices and alternatives energy so that we can really like pinpoint what resonates with us and what direction we feel like it, or in what like of which of those options we feel like is supportive of the growth that we are like experiencing right now in this new direction, with Uranus and the North Node also implicated today. And Uranus, this is also really about like authenticity. Like we're gonna want our experiences on Friday to really align with the truth of our authentic emotions as well, and really be able to like say how we really feel. Like that's another thing with all this Gemini energy, Venus in the sign of Gemini and the moon and Uranus coming together. Like we're really probably gonna want to have the freedom to like speak our authentic feelings about stuff, and we want to do it. Like we may just have a very strong desire to communicate with people about like maybe the new direction that we want to go in, or just like how we're truly really feeling about stuff could be coming through. We could also be hearing some really wild or bizarre information in the realms of love, money, finance, resource, food, beauty, home, like our like home, especially in regards to like our house and stuff like this. This is also energy where people may be wanting to make some like radical changes to their home or to their lifestyle or to their appearance as well. Venus in the sign of Gemini with this Taurus influence that we have going on. There may be some like radical makeovers going on in this energy as well. That's something that would be indicated. And this is all generally, though, along the Venus-Taurus lines, like I just said: love, money, food, beauty, comfort, pleasure, like our house, our living environment, our lifestyle, stuff like that. And very all weekend, very social, relatable, communicative energy that we have coming through. Now, another aspect that we have going on the side of the moon this weekend, and this aspect is it's actually a dual aspect, and they're building all weekend, but they don't come exact until next week. But we do also have this sun in Cancer building into a square with Jupiter in Aries, and also simultaneously simultaneously a conjunction to the black moon also in Cancer. Remember, you guys, if you watched my June overview for this month, I was talking about how on the last day of June, the sun will be in a conjunction to the black moon. I believe actually our new moon itself in Cancer is in a conjunction to the black moon. So these black moon themes are likely to be strengthening over the course of the weekend as well. But there's a simultaneous square to Jupiter going on. And first of all, with the moon or the sun and the black moon coming together, the sun resonates to sort of like our spirit and our character. It's the light that, makes us thrive and grow. And the black moon is like the deepest, darkest recesses of our psyche and our subconscious programming and stuff. And so over the course of this weekend and moving into next week towards our new moon in Cancer, we are very likely to sort of be gaining a very clear awareness of our own light, of the light and darkness that exists within us, and our fears, especially in the sign of Cancer, that may be causing us to act or behave in certain ways in regards to these Cancer themes of home and family, which translates sort of into nurturing, comfort, and support. And, issues around abandonment as well, where we abandon ourselves, where we abandon others, and how we feel abandoned by perhaps, or just like lacking support, lacking care, lacking nurturing, or an inability or a fear within ourselves that we can't provide that for the people that we love and that we care for. These type of things could be sort of building underneath the surface, motivating a lot of things all weekend as well. But with the sun and the black moon coming together, this is just that very clear awareness of the polarities, again, with all these Gemini vibes existing within us in terms of like the light and the dark, and just gaining an awareness of these darker sides of ourselves, and perhaps, what we need to do to heal, integrate, release them at this point in time, or the impact that they are having on our experience and our feelings, and therefore the experiences and the circumstances that we are attracting and navigating in our lives. So we will be talking more and more about this as this energy builds, but I wanted to mention it because it is sort of like an underlying aspect that we have building throughout the course of the weekend. And also, though, that sun in the conjunction to the black moon is also forming a square to Jupiter, and this is actually quite a positive aspect. It's an extremely useful square. Squares generally are, bring conflict and tension and frustration, and they can cause like challenges and difficulties. But the square from the sun to Jupiter is generally, like I said, like a very useful square. It gives us energy to get ahead in almost any way that we are truly desiring, as long as we are able to be disciplined and avoid like obvious excess and things. That's the only real problem with Jupiter, is it can lead to a tendency to like overdo things, overblown feelings, overblown emotions, excess, just like above and beyond. We can sort of like bite off more than we can chew when we have a sun squaring Jupiter. But on the same, like on the flip side of that, we also have an ability to like accomplish more than we would have thought possible for ourselves as well. So, we want to make sure that we're not being like overtly excessive about things, and that we are being disciplined, self-disciplined, which may be a little difficult as well, especially with Saturn retrograde. But if we can, maintain a sense of self-discipline and not just be like crazy excessive about stuff, things have a tendency of going well. Any tendency that is positive within us when exercised with restraint will work out under this influence very positively. And on the flip side of that, any tendency that is generally negative when done to excess or without restraint will also generally end up negative. So it sort of like supersizes whatever end of the spectrum we're operating on. And again, this is a very useful energy on the side of these changes that we have going on, and this reevaluation perhaps of the direction that we want our life to go. And we're changing our mind about a lot of things, because with Venus and Gemini, we want different things. We want different choices. We want different options. We want to see like the whole array of possibilities and be able to really like discover which one is for us. And, with the Jupiter Sun square coming in, like this can be a beneficial and assisting energy in this process. But again, we just don't want to overdo it. We don't want to overblow things. We want to make sure we're not like taking on more than we can handle in this energy or biting off more than we can chew. But we also do want to have faith in our ability to do more than we think is possible for ourselves, because we can do it and we can succeed with this exact energy playing out as well. With the sun in the sign of Cancer and Jupiter in the sign of Aries, it's like we are being supported in making changes and taking forward action that is actually going to be nourishing to our soul in one way or another, or is actually going to provide us that support or that home environment or that family. Like those Cancer themes, those Cancer archetypes where the sun is right now, and the Aries energy, like really pioneering forward, taking action, taking big action in alignment with our personal truth, is going to provide some type of ability for us to grow and thrive in our, like, the home environment that we are establishing for ourselves, or in like our deeply, like in terms of like our own inner home, like how we feel at home within ourselves as a result of really being in alignment with who we are and feeling comfortable in that place. So yeah, all of that we have going on. And again, these will be building over the course of the weekend. Let's talk about Sabian symbols that are in effect for a minute for Friday, and then we will move on to Saturday. So on Friday, we have the Earth coming to 4 degrees of Cancer. This Sabian symbol is a group of people entering a canoe for a journey by water. I feel like this is talking about this weekend is sort of going to be a bit of an emotional journey for us as we are moving towards the Sun, Black Moon energy. And I mean, Sun and Black Moon, both in the sign of Cancer, like this is teaching us, like ultimately it's trying to teach us how to regulate our own emotions and how to sort of like be our own internal support system. And I feel like this is going to take us on a bit of a journey over the next couple of days, and the position of the Earth today is sort of indicating that a little bit. We also have Mercury today at 13 degrees of Gemini, a famous pianist giving a concert performance. So also I feel like this is talking about like there's a grand symphony underway and things are sort of being orchestrated according to a bigger plan at this point in time, with the North Node so in effect on Friday as well. Venus at 2 degrees of Gemini, Santa Claus furtively filling stockings hanging by the fireplace. So this grand symphony or whatever is going on, the information that is coming to us, what we're learning, the perspective changes that are going on right now are really like valuable gifts in our experience at this point in time. This grand symphony that is underway is bringing gifts via information and connections that are likely to be quite valuable to us moving forward. We also have Uranus, speaking of Uranus, at 18 degrees of Taurus. That Sabian symbol is a woman airing an old bag through a sunny window. So I feel like, again, this is talking about like refreshing things and sort of airing things out and lighting things up for us and just giving us like a fresh, clean, like uplifted and sort of just like lighter vibe that is going on, that is helping us to be a little bit more positive in terms of the direction of things as well, and these realignments that are simultaneously underway. There's actually like a very light, I feel like upbeat energy that we have sort of going on all weekend long. And lastly, the degree of the North Node right now, a large white dove flying straight and fearlessly over troubled waters. I feel like this is telling us we are in this process of detaching from the past, detaching from these more negative emotions that perhaps have like been holding us down and keeping us attached, you know, South Node and Scorpio, to the things that maybe have been stealing our power, any perceived out of any perceived lack of power or lack of value or lack of worth or lack of support also that we may have been holding inside. And, you know, reminding us that at this point in time, we really need to let that stuff go. We are transcending out of these troubled waters, and we do that through recalibrating or realigning our heart space with these more purified energies, the large white dove, like love, surrender, peace, forgiveness. These are sort of what we want to be focusing on in terms of the vibration that we are holding within our heart space as we go through this energy. We're going through these massive changes right now. Things are being realigned for us. We're changing our mind about a lot, and we really need to let some stuff go. I feel like this is saying like we need to forgive, we need to like move on, we need to let some stuff go, and we need to allow ourselves to go through this creative process and allow ourselves to be reborn and recreated into this new version of ourselves that is not associated really even with like the pain or the turmoil or the more negative experiences of the past. We can't become a new person and still simultaneously be embodying the negative past experiences and like holding on to those, because that will prohibit us from being able to go through this process. We really need to be allowing ourselves, as I said, to, you know, surrender these negative feelings and give them to God, give them to the divine, allow ourselves to sort of forgive for our own well-being, like not for, any impact that this is going to have on another person. Like we do this for our own growth and for our own ability to like realign our vibration in a way that can help us attract and bring towards us the things that are going to benefit us more and be more fulfilling to us going forward. So, love, peace, surrender, forgiveness, and also like hope for the future. These are the things that we really need to be grasping onto this weekend as we are going through this process to help us transcend out of and away from and detach from the things of the past that may have been holding us back or preventing us from activating our destiny and going in this new direction. So that's really what I feel about we have going on for the energy for Friday. Now let's talk about Saturday. Saturday is probably like the more tricky day of the weekend. The moon in Taurus is going to be making aspect to both Saturn and Pluto. This could get a little intense. The moon is going to be making a square to Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, also a trine to Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And if you guys remember, both of these planets who had been stationary for quite a while because they had stationed direct and hadn't moved, they both on the same day, I think it was Wednesday, but I could be getting the day wrong. I talked about it in the astrology this week. They both moved backwards. They moved a degree backwards. They moved on the same day together. Now we have the moon coming in and making aspect simultaneously to both of these planets as well. And so this to me, like, okay, Saturn retrograde, this is restructuring, reforming our inner landscape, our inner world. This is also like a karmic reaping sort of. And we are internally restructuring ourselves in a way that is aligning us with what we want to build, what we want to form, what we want to grow going forward based on the lessons that we've learned at this point in time, the wisdom that we've gained, and the tests that we've passed, essentially. When we're talking about Saturn, the teacher, the judge, the disciplinarian, also ruling time, also ruling karma, and also ruling like limitations and restrictions and control, but for the purpose of really refining things into their like best possible version. Saturn retrograde, we are restructuring the material, very grounded material energy. We are restructuring the inner landscape, the inner structures, the inner world within which, our personal paradigm exists, which makes sense because we are transitioning paradigm collectively right now. But anyways, Pluto retrograde. This is a very internalized transformation, Pluto ruling transformation and like alchemization and stuff like that to a higher level essentially as well. And also Pluto ruling like the subconscious mind and the deep recesses of our psyche. And this is a very powerful subconscious, internal, like deeply psychic transformation that is going on simultaneous to this inner restructuring that is going on. These two planets are pretty significant. When we have that moon in Taurus coming into the square and the trine with both of these planets, this is a lot of, I feel like, growth happening inwardly on Saturday to help us discover and move towards our value and our potential and the like tapping and cultivation of our inner resources. We're talking again about the moon in the sign of Taurus. Value, potential, resources, creativity, and ability to create and build something with those. That is how I feel like ultimately this energy is playing out and what it's pushing towards with the moon forming the square to Saturn and Pluto, both retrograde. Another very, very valuable information day. We have on Saturday, Venus and Mercury, both in Gemini. Venus at Holly and Mistletoe, reawaken old memories of Christmas, and Mercury at 14 degrees of Gemini, bridging physical, space, and social distinctions. Two men communicate telepathically. So I feel like, again, this is talking about like with Mercury at that degree, I feel like this is definitely saying like whatever is going through our mind today, whatever information we're coming in contact with, whatever encounters we're having, whatever we're learning, whatever we're tuning into, whatever we're picking up on is likely to be very valuable in helping us to reawaken to this original value, this original truth, this original potential, these original gifts. Holly and Mistletoe, reawaken old memories of Christmas. What are our blessings? I feel like we are discovering that this weekend based on these deeply significant internalized shifts, restructuring, reformations, transformations that are happening right now. And that are freeing us and liberating us to go in this new direction, to head towards a phase of our life that is really characterized by growth in alignment with who we are authentically meant to be, and really tapping into those gifts and potential. We also have Mars at 24 degrees of Aries on Saturday, an open window and a net curtain blowing into a cornucopia, which reminds me of the Uranus degree, a woman airing an old bag through a sunny window, giving it air and sunlight. It's talking about like this window and this air coming through and things being blown into a proper form and air. This is again, this air element about this ideas and this communication and these thoughts, this information that is coming in, that it's freeing us in some type of a way to take a new form, blowing into a cornucopia. And I also feel like this is sort of like airing things out and clearing things up and removing stagnancy as well. I feel like these degrees are also referencing this forward movement that is taking place. And we've sort of been talking all week about being in a period of time right now where sort of like it's on and things are moving forward and things are starting to change, things are starting to happen. Again, very, very indicated in the energy that is coming through this weekend generally. Saturday could be more of an introspective day generally because we're talking about the moon, our emotions, our feelings coming into the square with Saturn, which is tends to be like sort of maybe a more withdrawn energy, and also Pluto, like very deeply introspective. Both of these planets retrograde, deeply introspective and transformative. We may be, again, this bringing up this desire to make changes to our lifestyle, to our home, to relationships, jobs, projects, commitments as well, compelled to perhaps restructure and transform like our physical environment. Because remember, Saturn retrograde in the square to the moon, like this is these changes that are going on within us, this internal restructuring that may be coming up against or creating tension with the square, something in our physical environment, moon and Taurus, something in our material world, something in our living space, like something along those lines. And as a result, we may be feeling this like drive to make changes to our external world around us that are a reflection or mirroring what is going on inside of us at this point in time as well. Also helping us to discover root problems and root issues along these same Taurus themes lines. Like we might be really figuring out what the resistance is or what the problem has been in our work relationships, our work dynamics, our financial like agreements and stuff like that, or the projects that have been going on, or in terms of like maybe why our garden isn't growing properly, or just in terms of maybe some creative pursuit or some art that we're doing right now. Like this is energy that can really help us to figure out like what is holding things up, holding things back, or preventing them from sort of coming forth, manifesting, growing in the way that we want them to. Changing our minds also about what we want. Like I've said, this is the theme that we have going on all weekend. And of course, we also still have an increase of energy along the lines of the Sun Black Moon conjunction that is building, and also the Sun in square to Jupiter. So, there could just be these issues, these fears, these insecurities, these projections also going on along the lines of like feeling insecure or feeling unsupported or feeling unappreciated or feeling uncared for or feeling like we don't know if we can trust ourselves to be able to do that for another, or these issues regarding like codependency and neediness could be surfacing in one way or another throughout the course of the energy that is playing out this weekend as well. And in terms of the Sabian symbols that we have going on, I already read them actually. The Mercury degree, the Venus degree, this valuable information or these thoughts that could be coming to us. It might not even be something that we are like actually having a conversation about. We might get hit by like an epiphany or a flash of insight, or like legit maybe some telepathic communication going on that is opening our eyes, opening our mind in one way or another, and reawakening us to the truth of our gifts, or to the truth of our talent, or the truth of our potential. Venus, holly and mistletoe reawaken old memories of Christmas and what we can do with them, and how abundant perhaps like we really truly are, how blessed we really truly are. These are the type of things that we may be rediscovering in the energy that we have playing out on Saturday. Now let's talk about Sunday, the 26th. Sunday is a very, very Gemini-oriented busy day. We have the moon leaving Taurus, moving into Gemini on Sunday, also going to be forming a conjunction to both Venus in Gemini and Mercury in Gemini. So, it's sort of like a progression. It's like on Friday, things are sort of shifting for us, or we're awakening to something, or we're gaining like this emotional desire to free ourselves or liberate ourselves or go in a drastically new direction or make a dramatically different choice, or, take a very like unusual for us course of action, or do something spontaneous or out of the blue or unexpected for the purpose of trying to get ourselves actually back on track with what feels authentic to us in one way or another. And then on Saturday, we're sort of, more in this like internalized process of reflecting on and trying to like get to the bottom of these shifts that are happening and what is sort of compelling us to maybe want to make these changes or want to make these realignments. And then on Sunday, it's like we are just really like ready to talk about it. Like we're thinking about it, we're talking about it, we're learning about it. Like we're ready to actually like we're out and about, like we're doing things, like very busy, communicative energy. This also could be like us really analyzing a lot of like choices and options and alternatives, and trying to figure out how which way we really want to go, what truly aligns with us at this point in time with the energy that we have playing out on Sunday. Moon, Mercury, and Venus all in the sign of Gemini. We know, and that's another thing. It's like, but with Mercury and Venus together, this is like the mind and the heart in alignment. Like we know what we want. Like we understand what we want and why we want it when we have these two planets together in the sign of Gemini. But it's like what we want and what we know we want has a tendency to be more along the lines of like choices and options and not having to choose and the freedom to sort of like take our time or to try things out or to sample things out without having to commit. Like that sort of like we know what we want, we just aren't sure which option we're going to pick yet, but we know we want something different, and we know we want something very fresh and new and out of perhaps like the ordinary in terms of what we've picked at this point in time. I feel like this is sort of resonating to me as people like changing their type in terms of like the romantic partners that they are attracted to, or like changing their ideal of or their idea of what they want to do for a living to make money, like making some very like significant changes in terms of the things and our preferences. I feel like this is like changing preferences that may have been set in place for a long period of time as a result of like some real growth that is going on internally, and therefore is really changing what we desire, what we want, and what we're thinking about and what we want to choose externally, but still being at a point where we like aren't exactly sure on the specifics, but we just know that we want something different. Like I feel like that is generally how the vibe is coming through. And today, I mean, with the moon, Mercury, and Venus, that this is our mind, this is our emotions, and this is what we want and desire all together in the sign of Gemini. This is a really good day to trust our own judgment about things, which again, may be a little bit all over the place, but the thing that we can rely on is like being in alignment with what is real and true to us. Like in this energy with a moon, Mercury, and Venus alignment in the sign of Gemini, it's like everything is on board. Everything is working together. Like there's not conflict going on between our thoughts and our feelings and our desires. Like they are all in alignment. But in the sign of Gemini, it's like very much towards like options and polarities and, back and forth. We may feel very back and forth about things as well, but we know that we are. And it's like we want to be, and we're okay with it because that is what is authentic for us, essentially. And again, like Venus and Mercury, the positions of the Sabian symbols that they're at today. Venus is at 5 Gemini, Mercury's at 15 Gemini. Venus is actually at the degree where Mercury originally stationed to go retrograde. So this could also be in terms of relationship or financial dynamics, if there have been some confusion or things up in the air or a lack of communication or a lack of streamlined understanding, clarity about things, again, in the Venus themes of love, relationships, money, or what we want or what we desire, with Mercury or with Venus coming to the degree today where Mercury stationed to go retrograde, this past retrograde, we may be really figuring out like things, like the information coming to us, like the clarity, the understanding, things really starting to move forward along these lines as well. So this is definitely to me what is the word I'm looking for? This is implying, again, like another form of forward movement that we have going on with Venus on Sunday coming to the degree where Mercury stationed to go retrograde, and things like us definitely gaining some clarity in the realms of love and money and partnerships and projects and stuff like that for sure. And then first of all, that Sabian symbol is a radical magazine or publication calling for action, displays a sensational front page. So this is, again, talking about this news, this information, these headlines, like the conversations that we're having, what is coming to us, changing us in some type of way that is causing us to want to take some type of action and move forward, or make a choice or make a decision, or make the choice or decision not to make a choice or not to make a decision, but to do something new, to take some type of action in one way or another. And then Mercury, 15 Gemini, 2 Dutch children talking and studying their lessons together. Again, this is very much bringing up these Gemini themes. First of all, we're talking about twos, we're talking about dualities, we're talking about polarities. This is ruled by Gemini, things going back and forth, but we're also talking about they're talking and they're studying, and they're also children. Gemini also rules children, talking and studying. So this information that's coming in, what we're talking about, what we're discussing, what we're learning, radical news, radical information, calling for action, like pushing us to take some type of choice, to do something different, to go in a new direction, to try something new, with all of this Gemini energy that is coming in as well. So we want information, we want the gossip, we want to spill the tea with this energy that we have going on, and it's really beneficial to us because whatever information we are like coming in contact with, or however it's changing our mind or opening our perspective to things or whatnot, is sort of what we need in this energy to be able to discover what we really want, like the choice that we really want to make that is the most conducive and supportive to our growth, in alignment with our authentic truth and the cultivation of our talent, potential, and gifts moving forward. Very lighthearted energy as well, positive, optimistic energy, especially again with this Sun square Jupiter that we simultaneously have playing out, even though we do have this black moon conjunction going on. Like, that's the only thing. That's the only downfall, is we may be feeling like really insecure about whether or not we're going to have support, or whether or not we're going to have a home, or whether or not we're going to have like the same relationship to our family or stuff like that. Once we go in this new direction, once we make this new choice, once we, realign our preferences with things that are more suited to us at this point in time. Like, what impact is this going to have on our ability to both give and receive love, nurturing, care, support? And, how is this going to impact us? And are we going to be, able to feel as at home in our own life and in our own selves as we had in the past? But actually the answer is yes, very much so. We're actually moving in a direction that is going to create a sense of an even greater connection to our own selves, and feeling like supported in and of ourselves, and able to support ourselves, and therefore to support and care for the people that we love in our lives going forward, once we go through this process of recognizing and tapping our potential, our value, our gifts, and translating that into something that makes us feel successful and supported externally as well. This is the progression that we're going on right now to sort of transcend out of these black moon issues. So that is basically, what the energy to me is looking like for this weekend. Very again, like it feels like a much more like optimistic and like light, airy energy that we have going on this weekend, but it is leading to change. It is opening our mind and our perspective. And I just feel like these choices, these decisions, this very busy energy, lots of information, lots of conversation, lots of gossip, lots of communication, and learning a lot of things. And also like this very deep and internalized restructuring that is going on, that is, causing us to probably want to make some changes either to our like actual physical appearance, or like the state of the environment that we exist within externally as well. So very interesting, and this weekend is setting us up for what is likely to be quite an intense week next week, with this incoming black moon alignment, and also the new moon that is coming up in a couple of days that is going to be in alignment to the black moon as well. So we got some stuff coming at us, but I do feel like this weekend should be a pretty like fun, lively, like positive, optimistic weekend anyways, regardless of the black moon. So we're doing a synchronicity card now, you guys. As you could see, I was just shuffling and one went shooting off to the side, so I'm going to grab that card. These are just little messages from God meant to sort of be like the cherry on top of the reports and give us just a little bit of additional guidance to help us navigate with the most grace through this energy. So I'm going to grab this card. Oh, this is, and I don't even know that I've picked this card before, but this to me immediately goes right along with the energy. What I was saying, rest, relax, breathe. And with all of this air energy, the net curtain, an open window and a net curtain blowing into a cornucopia and a woman airing an old bag through a sunny window. Like, yes, like we are airing things out. We are, you know, sort of breathing through it this weekend. And I love that this is saying rest and relax as well, because this does just sort of feel like the vibes that are coming through, like a lot to do, a lot going on, but also more of just the social, jovial vibe and energy that we have coming at us. It says, he feedeth among the lilies until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. Song of Solomon 2:16 through 17. Take refuge among the lilies of God in heaven and dwell upon the concepts of joy, harmony, peace, beauty, and divine law and order. All your plans, journeys, and undertakings will prosper. Continue in this abiding trust and faith in God until the day breaks and the shadows flee away. Like this is the first time I've read this card. I've never drawn this synchronicity card in all of my days of doing these readings on this channel so far. And I feel like this could not be more perfect for like the overall of what we have going on. First of all, it's talking specifically about the day breaks and the shadows flee away. We're talking about the sun coming into a conjunction with the black moon, which rules the shadow side, and the day break, the light, which would be ruled by the sun. And also dwell upon the concepts of joy, harmony, peace, beauty, and divine law and order. And that's what I was saying about the degree of the North Node, a white dove flying fearlessly over straight and fearlessly over troubled water, and the need to sort of really get our heart in alignment with these more positive qualities associated with the white dove this weekend, and that is what is going to really help us carry through. But this is also saying, you know, all your plans, journeys, and undertakings will prosper. And with the sun and the square to Jupiter as well, that's what I was saying, like as long as we are practicing self-discipline and not being overly excessive about things, like the things that we are putting our positive energy into right now should grow well along a positive line. So this is the advice that we have for this weekend, you guys. I hope you liked it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can give you a little bit of whatever you're needing as you are navigating your experience this weekend. If you guys did like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would be interested. Leave me comments, you guys. I love your comments and I love you, and I'm so grateful and glad that you guys are here, and I really appreciate your feedback and everything that you guys have to say. So thank you for that too. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff. Those are in my description box below, and come back with me on Monday, you guys. Like I said, we have quite an intense week coming up. We're going to have our new moon in Cancer to talk about, sun black moon conjunction, and we're going to be starting a new week, or a new month, the month of July. So I will hopefully be getting a July overview out for you guys coming up soon too. So have a beautiful day, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.